All right, what's up? What's up? So, markets have been moving a little bit quicker than normal in the pre-market. Um, so I'm gonna start these a little bit earlier. There's Red Fuller News event at 7:30 CST or 8:30 Eastern time. So essentially in 8 minutes from now. Um, so I'm looking for buys on US 30 right now. Um, Let me try to zoom out here if I can. I'm gonna target. I'm on the 15 minute. I'm gonna target like these highs up here for take profit. Um, Let me take a look at how many pips it is. I'd probably go right for the bottom of this box. It's a 2-to-1 risk to reward right there. So we'll see what happens in 8 minutes here. We should get some news to push this up. I'm hoping it's just a clean break, and we'll glide up to the top. Um, what's up for everyone joining here? Look at something here real quick. I'm actually move this up a little bit higher. Pips. Alright, cool. While people are jumping on here, just let me know if there's any pairs you want me to go over. I'll mark up, just post in the comments or the chat. This is what I'm looking at right now. We got red news event in 5 minutes. Could make the market move, could do nothing. It's PPI, which is changing the price of finished goods and services sold by producers. So it says it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When producers charge more for goods and services, higher costs are usually passed on to the consumer. So basically, it's just going to talk about, if prices are going to be going up or down in consumer goods. Let me see. Last month in December, it was greater than the forecasted. The month before that was equal. So we'll see what we get this month. There's also unemployment claims that come out at the same time too, but that comes out, I believe, every week. So it's only considered orange folder. but that still can make a big difference if there's like a drastic change in unemployment, which I don't think is expected, but we also have an FOMC member speaking at 9 a.m. And this is all Central Standard Time for these, just so people know. Just moving this up a little bit more. I just want to make sure it's a clean break above these eyes here. Alright, so we're waiting on US 30 here. If anyone else has, periods they want me to mark up real quick, we can while we wait for this. Alright, never mind. Holy cow. This is the news event. I think my servers stopped for Nash Markets right now. Give me a second. I'm going to reset it. We're up in that trade though, which is nice. I might close out a little bit early, or just move stop loss to break even and take partials here. Let me reshare my screen first. Alright, this is a mess. I'm trying to get. I'm gonna take a little bit of partials right now. Do 0.6. Yeah, let's push for a second. I'm gonna put stop loss at break even. Hopefully this doesn't reject this area. I'd like to get a little bit more of a push up right now before I fully close. See something. Where's 1-to-1 risk to reward? Right there. That's tough. I'm gonna try to stay firm here and hold. We'll see what happens. And that being said, NASDAQ is close to our entry right now too. So we'll see if we get anything with that. like the way that 5-minute candle looks. Got close. Unfortunately, we didn't hit 50 pips even if I did stay with my normal one. It was close though. It's like 48 pips. I thought it was going to continue to just keep running, so I didn't want to cut it short. Let's see what happens here though. We closed out already, let me see, about 0.5%, unfortunately. This looks super bullish too. I'm gonna just keep my stop loss more like right at break even. Hopefully we just get this push up that we need right now. Let me see what the news came out with. So the PPI went down, unemployment claims went higher, which is bad, and then core PPI is at actual, which is the same as what was forecasted, so about neutral with that. So we did have more negative news come out. I should have looked at that, but the markets are just moving so fast. Because of that, it could affect the stock market in a negative way, especially if unemployment claims are higher. People get more bearish about the economy. I might just see if I can get this back to, if this gets to 2,000, I hit a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Also, for those of you that are watching, while this was going on, I only needed 1% to pass one of the MyForex funds, so I just passed that one. I'm just going to share it with you guys so you can see it. I'm actually going to just close out this. I'm going to hold it. I'm trying my best to hold these. It's hard when you're up. I just passed this one. You can see, let me go to, I think it's the Navigator. Yeah, so MyForex Funds Evaluation Phase 2. I'm on YouTube Live as well. I'm going to share this on the YouTube so everyone can see it on there too. So you can see MyForex Funds Evaluation Phase 2. Expand that. Looks like a 1. There we go. Evaluation Phase 2. And then the balance is 2,000, or it's up 10K, so it's 5%. So we just passed that one with that last trade for today, right here on US 30 buys. So we'll get that live account and we'll be able to start trading live on that one. And then we're still working on these other two challenges right now as well. So slowly but surely we're chipping away. I'm gonna jump back over to this trade we're in. And we're chopping around in there. I'm gonna email my Forex funds really quick so I can start getting the account. The one thing my Forex funds is a great prop firm. The one thing they got to work on is their support is pretty slow compared to some of these other guys in the industry. I like the funded trader a lot. FTMO is obviously just good in general, but I don't like that you can't trade red folder news, because if I tried to close out right now on here, they'd probably close my account if it was live, which I think is BS. So I'll probably never trade FTMO. I like Top Tier as well. It's a new firm that's came out. I think my top three are my Forex funds, Funded Trader, and Top Tier as of right now. In terms of just who's backing them, what kind of challenges that they offer, what they have to offer on the live accounts, like everything. And for those of you that were on that first call, I mentioned we're going to be doing a rebranding with BTTFX. Getting new backers. We'll actually be, self-funding these traders. We're going to basically become like an FTMO type of prop firm. So we're very excited about that. Should have that launched within about 2 months from now. So we're going to do like massive promotion for it, and we'll give anyone that's part of the BTTF or Born to Trade family discounts on it as well for challenges. We want to help you guys all pass. I'll be doing these live sessions and stuff, so doing whatever I can to help give back, and eventually once you guys feel comfortable and you want to trade your own challenge along with me, or even just ask for advice, I'd love to be trading with other people too and hearing how their challenges are going, like while we're trading together live. Just trying to build like a bigger community here. And I think once people see the results, I didn't pass the full challenge in front of you guys, but I passed part of it in front of you guys, just showed you proof, the strategy does work. And I know some of you have been on consistently and you've seen it work right now. So it's just a matter of following the strategy and being patient. Looks like we might get a entry on NASDAQ here. US 30 is kind of just consolidating, which I don't like. I think I'm just going to close out because I'm at a 1-to-1 risk to reward right there on that trade. Yeah, so I made it 1% on this so far. I'm not mad about it. I don't like what I'm seeing here. I would have held if we just kept that momentum going, but because it's kind of just losing that momentum, this could start pulling back down again. And there's no point in me giving up a 1-to-1 risk reward when I really don't see something I like. Those other days when I was saying I should have sat on my hands, like the trade was just running in one direction and never stopping. So like when you saw me move the stop loss up a little bit, it probably would have been hit within the next 1 to 2 candles just because of how strong the momentum was going. And then from there, if it was moving that strong, I'd probably keep pushing it up and moving my stop loss higher. And that's what I was hoping would happen, so I could actually practice that live in front of you guys. But unfortunately, decided to just kind of wane down like this and start falling. So because of that, that's the reason why I got out here. I'm still at a 1-to-1 risk to reward because I took off part of my position early at a higher risk to reward, which is good. Now, downside is I was up about $7,000 at one point, which would be at about a little over 2.5, like 2.75%. Um, or sorry, 1.75%. Um, but it's all right. It's all learning process here. So if US 30 does drop, I'm looking for sells farther down in this area, and I'm just gonna take it probably down to this area down here. And then let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ I'm looking at similar with what I just traded with US 30. See how many pips it is. 5993. Yeah, if we could get 50 pips out of this, that'd be awesome. Cool. Is anyone else in trades right now? You can put in the chat if you guys are in a place you can't talk. else is in trades right now? We're just chilling. USD CAD's hitting. Looks like it broke like a daily trend line. This thing's just been a straight downtrend. The thing easy with USD pairs is they tend to just run in one direction for a while. I mean, I'm on the 4-hour chart right now, and look at this, from 10:19 all the way to 10:19 all the way till 12:20. Just basically straight up with pretty clean market structure the whole way, and then from basically December 20th, 21st all the way till now, it's just been pretty clean downtrend. Cool, Scott. I love that. Always good to start out with a demo and get used to it. GU is making a nice cup and handle right here. We'll see what happens once it completes up here. Can make a pullback and then go for another buy. I don't really trade these pairs too much, but US 30 decided to come back to, man, I closed out right there. I'm not mad about it. I made 1%, but I was really looking to stretch 2% on this trade, and no, Nasdaq's just playing around like a see what happens with Nasdaq. Usually Nasdaq's the one that actually runs pretty clean, but looks like today it doesn't want to. Still got 30 minutes till market open. There's some FOMC member speaking at 9 a.m. This is all Central Standard Time. It's only orange folder for that. I think it's important to look at the news when you're trading like indices because it does affect it. As you can see, a good example is US 30 right here. We got entered on this candle, I believe, somewhere around in here. Let me delete this red one. We got entered somewhere in here. This was actually on the news candle that we got entered. And then we, spiked up into profit right away. We were almost up like a 1-to-1 risk reward just from that 1 minute candle, which is awesome. And then still continue to push up. Looking back, I mean, I potentially would have, where I closed out my partials, it was so close to a 2-to-1 risk reward, I probably could have just closed out everything, but I was trying to let this thing run because the past couple of days they've been going like 100 pips in one direction. So I wanted to see if we could stretch it, maybe, catch 75 pips with like more than partial of the position going. So we'll see what happens though with NASDAQ here. Before we start. Sometimes you go crazy if you just sit here and watch it too. So I'm sitting here reading an article right now, just trying to pass the time. Because really, I'm gonna be pretty set in stone with this. Once Nasdaq gets up to like this area, which is a little bit over at 1-to-1 risk reward, I believe. I might be starting to move stop loss to break even at that point. And I think this one I'm for sure just going to sit on. Unfortunately, US 30 would have hit our 2-to-1 risk reward. But I'm not mad that I closed out, only because I've seen this pattern happen a million times where spikes up like this really hard during a news event, comes down, consolidates, and then it just starts breaking structure and continue to fall. So I'm not too upset about closing out here at a 1-to-1 risk reward. That way, if this NASDAQ trade loses, we're break even for the day, which, whatever. Sometimes break even is a win. We'll see how this runs right now. Um, Hopefully we can lock in some profits on this too. We're just market's very slow right now. If we can hold like this area and keep pushing up, making new highs, and then we hit market open, I could definitely see us, pushing up to the TP level up here of 50 pips. Yeah, Rapi, always good to start with a demo. Um, the thing I'd say is I used to be very scared to trade indices too. I was like, I'm just gonna trade Forex. It has better market structure. It's not as volatile. It's not as risky. But I think a lot of people try to like psych themselves out of it. Um, what I learned is it does not matter what you're trading, if it's oil, gold, indices, or just GJ. All of them are the same in terms of if you just have the proper risk management and you're taking, an X position size every single time and you're risking X amount of pips every single time, it does not matter what you're trading. I mean, yes, some do move more volatile, but that can actually work in your favor if you have a profitable strategy. You guys are watching me do this live, and I was up 1% in less than a minute on this trade. Now, that could be scary or that could be, frightful, but if you have proper risk management and you have a consistent strategy that that works from back testing, I mean, it's golden because I don't like sitting in the market this long. I don't think anybody does, and swing trading I believe is one of the hardest things to do. It's way harder than scalping, for the sole fact that you could be up 2-to-1 risk to reward, but if you're going for a 5-to-1 and it comes all the way back to break even, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna close out early, or take your break even trade, or are you gonna let this run all the way back down to 5-to-1 risk to reward? Like, there's just so much that happens. So for me personally, I like scalping, and scalping on indices is, I'd say, where you would want to scalp at. You're gonna get the most volatility in a quick period of time when you trade between Central Standard Time, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's like golden hour. Um, there's people still trading these pairs from London, and then New York session opens, and you can get extra volatility from there. The red folder news events. I mean, I actually like trading red folder news events. Obviously, like FOMC is different, but that's like usually at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, my time in the afternoon. So like that's like towards the end of the New York session that usually FOMC happens. Only one that I'm a little more careful about is NFP, but I've back tested this through NFP, and I would say 9 times out of 10, it'll still follow the market structure, the where I have the markups at, and since this is a breakout strategy, technically, or it will tend to will break out of a certain area and it'll spike at least a 1-to-1 risk to reward, going up or going down before that will reverse. So I've been just kind of following that, tried and true, and it's been going well. So it looks like US 30 would have hit our 2-to-1 risk to reward. Not mad about it, but if anyone else is trading along with me, I hope you held. If you did, rub it in my face because I think I need it. I'm still learning here, obviously, with you guys live. That's why I actually like doing this. But you can't be mad. We made money. At the same time, I'm trying to learn how to maximize profits when, overall I had this area marked up as TP. Took an entry right here. We could have held through. And that's just, comes with patience and, trusting the trading plan. I had my stop loss at break even too. I could have totally just kept it at break even and let it ride. I held. Yeah, demo is easy to hold, but I agree. But just try to keep that same psychology when you do go to the live, or if you do a challenge account. Just keep that same psychology. Um, but that's awesome you held. I love that. I think trading challenges is actually harder than trading a live account too. Obviously, you have risk parameters on there, but um, I think people psych themselves out, feel like they have to pass right away, and then if they get down on the account, they just start freaking out and wanting to overtrade to get back to break even and all that. So like, I think if you traded this with a live account too and just did proper risk management, you could really grow your account exponentially. Even if you risk 1 to 2% a trade. If you don't have a huge account, obviously that's not ideal, but over time with compound, you can definitely compound your live account up a lot. Um, so I'm just gonna be doing these live, probably 4 days a week, maybe five. Yesterday, I accidentally overslept a little bit, which pissed me off because I woke up and missed out on US 30 hitting take profit and Nasdaq. So I didn't trade yesterday, but I set my alarm an extra 30 minutes early today and slapped myself in the face when I woke up. So I'm up and I'm back. Usually the strategy doesn't start working till like around 7:30 or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I was like getting a little lazier where I was sleeping in till about 7:30. So I actually woke up at 6:30 today, um, and I'm gonna continue to keep doing that now. So I'm not just rolling out of bed. How much is this challenge you doing? In terms of pricing wise, this challenge, the 400K, I have a discount code if you guys want it, but it's like 1585, so it's a little bit more pricey. But you're getting funded with 400,000 right off the bat, and then I'm doing a 200K challenge with the prop trading, or sorry, not the prop trading, my forex funds, and with them, I believe they cost $900 for a 200K challenge. So put a lot of money out there. I already passed one of my forex funds right now on that 200K, but the other challenge is only on phase one. But the way you gotta look at it, I mean, you're putting out that much money to get funded with 600,000. You get one decent payout. I mean, you don't even have to make 1% in order to get your money back, which is crazy on a live account. So we just made it right here in front of you. Yeah, 100% Scott. Um, obviously I can't share the full strategy right here on the live, but I think you guys can still learn from this, and then, even if you're profiting, making some money watching us trade live, I think it'll give you motivation and inspiration as well. That it is possible. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at right now, and I'm not even close to where I want to be. But I'm trying to make 2022 the biggest year ever. So I'm excited. Which prop trading is this account? So the one that you're watching live right now is is the funded trader, and then I have two 200Ks on my forex funds. One is already passed, and one is on phase one right now, and it's up 6K. So that's it's up 3% right now. Yeah, exactly. You can invest profits into the academy, then you can learn it yourself, be self sufficient, and then honestly, even too, I'd like to see you reinvest profits into some funding challenges, pass some, get funded, trade this strategy along with whatever else you guys are trading currently that's been working for you, or try to revise your strategy along with that, and maybe once you get to a funded account, you'll be able to only take proper setups, because I think a lot of time people just try to force setups. So if you only take the proper setups and you're patient, maybe your strategy that you currently have will work out even better. Um, but yeah, you can do a 400K with the funded trader. They're like one of the few that offer that. I think more and more are going to start offering that very soon. I wouldn't recommend doing them until you're pretty confident that you can pass, only just because psychology wise, it's crazy what you're floating up and down. I mean, like making 4 grand for some people is nuts, but like on this size account, like you have to make 4 grand just for me to have a 1-to-1 risk to reward. Um, so sometimes it can mess with your psychology a little bit more. That's why I was recommending, trading with the terminal off. So you're just looking at the charts like this. That way you can't see what you're floating up and down. And you just, stay patient and let the trade play out. But I mean, that being said, though, even like a 200K challenge is still pretty frightening. You're floating up and down, 2 grand just for a 1-to-1 risk to reward. But in general, I like it. I think it excites me. When I think about like, okay, hey, I made 2% today. I do that off the total that I'm trading, which is like 600,000 on the challenges. So like, if you do the numbers off that, what is that? That's 12 grand, just making 2% in a day, which is totally doable. So I'm excited once I get these passed. If you make 2% a day, I mean, you're gonna be doing pretty well. And some of these trades that you guys watched me live, even last week, we're running like 4-to-1 risk to reward, which is 4%. So that would be 16,000 on one trade, I believe. Sorry, 36,000. Wait, no, it's 6%. 24,000 on one trade. If you hit a 4-to-1 risk to reward, which would be nuts. Yep, definitely. It's all about being consistent. Just make sure I have this set right. Alright, so currently we're up 4,200. I got a stop loss directly at 4 grand, so it'll be basically break even if we lose. If we hit this, we'll be up 12K for the day. We'll see what happens. Overall, too, I truly see NASDAQ going up to at least, I don't want to move this line, but I see it going up to at least like this area here. Which, I mean, we could see, I might, depending on how this happens, if we get a big push during market open, which is in less than 15 minutes, I may consider, doing exactly what I did with US 30 over here, where I start moving my stop loss up like a trailing stop and following it, and then just moving my TP up to here and see what happens. And then I'll close out like partials as we go up too. So I'm locking in something. That way, if it does reverse and come back down, hopefully I'll still be up at least 1%, but, at least maybe 2% at the worst case scenario. Yep, definitely, Ahmed. That's what I'm waiting for too. We got like less than 15 minutes, so we should get that push up. I've also seen this though, since we are in a strong uptrend, and I believe that we are going up. I have seen liquidity grabs where they'll come down, they'll stop you out, and keep going up. If that's the case, then so be it. I never like risking it though, because sometimes you think it's a liquidity grab, but other times the market's just deciding to reverse, and just from past experience, I've held through them. And like, it might break the structure here and just grab something, and you're thinking, okay, it's just a big wick, it's gonna come back up, and it never does, and then it keeps dropping, and you're like, wow, now I'm down 4%, 4.5% for the day, and you close out and you can't even take another trade because you'll hit daily loss otherwise. So hopefully we don't get that today though. But I'm just saying what I've seen before. Um, TP 1634. Yeah, I'm hoping we hit 1634 as well. What do I have this at technically? It's at, yeah, so mine's at like 1603. But I could definitely see it going 1634. Looks like the top of this area right here, or actually a little bit above it. Let me zoom out more. Yeah, it's decent. Overall, I really think it could come up to here eventually, maybe by Friday. I'd say either today or Friday. We'll find out right now, though. 10 minutes here. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm gonna go grab coffee real quick. Alright. Alright. Let's see what happens here. I've been loving this volatility though. Markets have been very active in the new year. To be honest, this is like the best this strategy that I have has been, and the whole time I've been back testing it and forward testing it. I've back tested it on TradingView all the way from, let me see here. like around April-ish, and risking 1% a trade. So far, year to date, right now, it's made 221%, which is awesome. That's on US 30. On NASDAQ, just due to the data and when I started it, I could only get it from July 23rd. But with that, it's been up 129%, almost 130% since July 23rd. So if you combine both those two together, because you'd be trading both of them, risking 1% a trade, you're up, over 300%. Now do those numbers if you're trading a 600K account. That's what I did, and kind of gave me some inspiration, and now I'm just following this to a T as close as I can. And when I was back testing this, I do the replay mode too, so I had no clue what was going to happen. So it took me a while. You feel like a scientist in the lab, but it's pretty rewarding once you put it all into a spreadsheet and look over the numbers and see that you found a profitable strategy. Obviously it takes a ton of time, but it's worth it at the end. So I'm excited to share it with you guys, and hopefully everyone can win together. And the way I learned this strategy is not the way I trade it. So I think there's always going to be better versions coming out. I feel like this is like the 2.0 version of what I learned, so I revised it and made it better. So hopefully once we do share this with you guys can learn it, go into the lab, find what works best for you, revise it, make revisions, and share with everyone else what you find is working even better, is more profitable. Whatever it is, we're always looking to get better. And also market conditions change all the time too. So that being said, what I have right now might not work 6 months from now, but a little bit of a variation of it might work better. Because I know during times of like lower volatility, I'll probably be going for less pips, because we're not going to be getting these 100 pip push moves all the time. But like, we're getting blessed right now, so I'm going to take the blessings. But for those of you that are getting on, we are up 1% so far with US 30. We took the entry right here. I closed out, unfortunately, at 1-to-1 risk to reward around here. It did go up and hit our 2-to-1 risk to reward. So currently on the 400K challenge, we're up 10K, which I believe is 2.5%. And then I'm also up $6,000 on the other my Forex funds, which is 3%. So yeah, right around the same on each. And then I just passed a 200K my Forex funds today. I showed you guys the proof a little bit earlier. So we just passed that one. Should be getting live credentials soon, which is exciting. And I'll be just trading that one live. So thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Big goal is to get these two passed now too. Once we get all that, I'll have 800K total, which should be cool. We got 2 minutes till market open. Yeah, of course, Antonio. You got it. So for those of you that are following along, I got my stop loss. Where is it actually at? On Nash Markets, it's at 15,928. just keep that in mind. I think we're gonna get volatile here, and I just don't want people to lose more than 1% if we do push down. But if we push up, awesome. I'm taking profit up here at the highs. And, if you want to look at it from market structure wise, go to the 15-minute. I'm basically stop losses right here at these previous highs that we broke, and then this is where I'm taking profit up here. Yeah, Scott does have to go to 440. So that's why it just the numbers will psych you out. You gotta always look at it as a percent gain wise. Like right now, I'm up 2.5%. So I'm like, all right, I have 8% more to go. I can't like let the numbers psych me out because it does feel like making another 30K is a lot. But if you can see, I mean, I'm barely up in this trade and I'm floating up of $1,500. So like the money goes quickly. I mean, look at that. Matter of me saying that and the market open, I'm up another 1,500. Hopefully this keeps going, but like that would be the one thing I'd say. The money fluctuates a lot quicker on these accounts, which can psych you out because I could be floating up 4K right here, and this could come all the way back into drawdown. So, that being said, it is what it is, but I'm just gonna stay tried and true to this. And when you expand your risk to reward, so like when you go for 2-to-1s opposed to 1-to-1, you're gonna lose more. It's just inevitable because when you try to go for more pips, obviously you have to be even more right in that direction. But that same time, if you're expanding your risk to reward, you're also making it so you can actually lose more and still be profitable, which is kind of cool. So we're getting pretty volatile here. Market's collecting orders in both directions right now, it looks like. We'll see. Hopefully we don't get a strong enough pullback into that area to stop us out. And we'll just push up here. Because looking at it, I got this up on TradingView too, just so I have different views, but we did hit a 1-to-1 risk reward on this trade as of right now. So we'll see if we can hit that 2-to-1. US 30 is just over here making fun of us too. Be up almost 100 pips, I think, from the entry. Yep, 108 pips right now. It's ridiculous. We're volatile today, holy cow. It's like whipsaw, which I don't like. I should close that out. I don't want that to influence my decision. Sometimes I'll do that. Close out the other pair, don't let it influence your decision. Yeah, Fun and Trader, you can trade during news. That's why I like them. Oh man, I so badly want to close out right now. Yeah, unfortunately, this thing's being stubborn. It looks like we hit a 1-to-1 risk to reward at one point, and then just hit stop loss here, which is tough. But see, so now I'm hoping we come down so I can at least make my money back on that. Otherwise, unfortunately, I mean, we might have just got stopped out here, and then it's gonna reverse. Um, but we're break even on the day, just to show proof. We're up $275, which I don't even count that as money, to be honest. Let me see something. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let me see something here. Yeah, it's tough. Looking back right now too, I kind of realized where I messed up. I should have put, so my stop loss was obviously right here. I should have put it just right below the structure, which is literally just a matter of probably another pip. Because yeah, I mean right now we're floating 1-to-1 risk to reward positive. Um, I still want to see what happens here though. Hopefully this just keeps pushing up. I'm not gonna touch it though. I don't like taking re-entries in an area like this, um, especially because we've been rejecting this area so many times. But I hope it does keep pushing up. It just makes me feel, that my strategy was on point. I could have just moved my pip or my stop loss really a hair smaller, and we would have hit the take profit. But like I said, sometimes a break even day's a win, and I also pass the other my forex funds, which is nice. So hopefully I can start trading that one live by next week. Yeah, and that's why I always have a tight stop loss. Because it could have definitely just kept going down. But just looking back on it, just reviewing my trades, in front of you guys live, there was like kind of a clear small support here on the 1 minute, um, and like I put my stop loss like tight exactly at I think it was whatever like so I lose 1 to 1, which is $4,000. But since I was up, for $4,200, I could have moved it right to here, and I would have been like directly at break even if I hit the stop loss, because I would have probably lost about 4,200. So if I would have done that, we would have been almost hitting our 2 to 1 risk to reward right now. But let's see what happens. I mean, I would have still been holding even through this. So we'll see if I actually hit my 2 to 1 risk to reward, or if this comes back down and hits stop loss before that happens. And that's sometimes the perk of, if you win on this first trade here with with US 30, especially if I did hold this, I would have hit a 2 to 1 risk to reward. So, technically looking back on it, if everything went ideal and I just followed my trading plan to a T, which, there's nothing wrong with trying to close out and take some partials, or, just closing out, being more conservative with a 1 to 1. If I would have held it, would have hit a 2 to 1 risk to reward here, and then on this, I would have maybe felt a little bit more comfortable with sliding the stop loss just, a couple pips lower, below this market structure. Now we're holding this right now. And I'm just, I'm talking out loud. I'm thinking of things that I could do better next time. Obviously, hindsight bias is always 20/20, but I'm trying to learn from my mistakes. So if I put stop loss here, would have easily still been up, over a 1 to 1 risk to reward if the stop loss was hit. And now I'm sitting here floating in profit around 1 to 1 on NASDAQ. And we'll see if we get to my 2 to 1. It is a little bit more choppy today, though. The past couple days have been just nuts, where it's just straight to TP like immediately. So it's like making me get impatient now. It's a very odd looking 15-minute candle. 63 pips up and down. Let's go take a look at the US 30. If we start getting a drop on it, looking for sells down in this area. This is on the 15-minute time frame. See, we did reject this area, but I do have a feeling we're just gonna make a pullback and continue to keep going up. I definitely see it coming back to where I have this red line up here, at least that area, which hopefully it does. Looks like NASDAQ starting to make a pullback again. And this is one of those days, I can tell you already, that it's a whipsaw open. There's once you start trading indices, you'll actually find very, very, very consistent patterns. And on days like this is usually when it's very difficult to make money. It's just gonna whipsaw for an hour, maybe less, but usually it's about an hour, and then it'll start taking off in one direction, and then it'll maybe pull back again. It stays in more of a range for the day, opposed to just going in one direction, 100, 200 pips, which those are the easy days to make money. Days like this is like when you feel like you're in the trenches, fighting your way through it. But we'll see you tomorrow, Scott. Thanks for hopping on. Um, but let's see. I'm still cheering for this trade. Obviously, even if you get stopped out by literally like a fraction of a pip, you still want to be right at the end of the day because it just gives you more confidence coming into the next day. That hey, my markups and what I was going for was great, but I just was wrong by a fraction of a pip. Like I'm totally okay with that. If we come down again and hit stop loss, it's just unfortunate that trade didn't work out. But I'm pumped to get this live account because if I get this live account, I'm still gonna have to get another probably 8% on these challenges, and I'll have it connected. So if I pass phase 1, I'll be up 8% on a live account. Which with the 200K, if I'm up 8%, what is that? It's like 16 grand. So that'll be decent. Yeah, it's only January. We're still warming up. But markets are being very good to us right now. The first 2 weeks of January have been awesome. We got more Red Folder news again at 7:30 Central Standard Time tomorrow. So I'll probably be getting on the Zoom or the live stream around the same time I did today because we want to make sure we don't miss the entries. And then dang. Unfortunately, next week looks pretty slow. There's really no Red Folder USD news. Let me check. Monday through Thursday, there's no Red Folder. And Friday. So there's literally no Red Folder USD news all next week. So we'll see what happens. Following week, though, there's FOMC. So I might get a little crazy. I'm just going to wait this out to see whether we hit where my TP was in this gray box, or if we hit that, stop loss that I would have had, just dragged a couple pips lower. Like literally, let's just see. If I would have had it 2.6, let's just say 3 pips lower. We would be hitting a 2-to-1 risk to reward here. But like this right here is just ugly. Like, if you've seen something like this and you're not in a trade, don't take a trade. And even if it breaks out in one direction, I wouldn't even touch it because this is just a clear indication that we're kind of like whipsawing. I mean, look at this 15-minute candle, it's pretty ugly. bad, I'm reading your message right now. So minimum trading days is only 5 days. Does that mean if you make your 10% in 5 days, then you pass? Yes, that's correct. And if you for some reason got lucky and hit 10% in one day, you could just take small position sizes for the rest of the 4 days in order to pass. They don't allow trading over the weekends, which I think nowadays is very normal. Like I think FTMO is like one of the only places that allows like Bitcoin trading. I'm not even sure if they still do, but I don't really think that's even like an issue anymore. But yeah, I like that their minimum trading days is only 5. I think that's fair too. From me running the back end of a prop firm too and seeing how everything works, we like prop firms in general. They don't really want to see someone that like passes in like 1 or 2 trades, because put yourself in their shoes. Like that's not giving them any data at all, knowing whether you're a profitable trader or not. So I would be extremely nervous if someone passed with like a 100 lot trade to have to back them with live capital. I'd be like, this guy probably just got lucky and he probably bought a ton of challenges from us, failed a bunch, just passed this one, getting lucky, and now we gotta back him. That would make me nervous. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I actually like having that trading day thing, and take it seriously, have a trading plan. When they see someone that's coming on here risking 1% a trade, going for 1-to-1, 1-to-2 risk rewards, and slowly, I'll probably pass this in 10 to 15 trading days, which is completely fine, and that would give someone way more confidence in actually funding you. Not saying they won't fund you if you pass in one trade, but in general, it's putting so much more risk on the broker, and you're basically I would say the dealing desk on the back end. So, and that's not the point of trading, because if you do that to pass, then what's your game plan when you're live? You're gonna go follow your trading plan? Because I highly doubt it. So that's what I would say about that. Because there's these influencers now that are doing that, and they're passing in one trade, and then they're flexing that they passed a challenge, blah blah blah. But you don't see the 18 challenges that they bought before that they failed. So, and that's what we see on the back end here. And I'm not calling anybody out, I'm not going to say names, but I'm telling you, these people do this all the time. So that's why I thought it'd be cool to come on live and show, I would say, the ugly truth about trading. It's not pretty, and you don't pass in one trade. It's something that you consistently do over time. Look at how long we were sitting at the markets here today, and I'm technically break even. I mean, a little bit positive, but barely. So that's going to happen. It's just a matter of being patient and, coming back the next day. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, if we do get some sharp drop down, we might take sells. I'm just going to go for a 1-to-1 because I do believe we are in an uptrend here. But that being said, too, this could be a resistance where we, make a pullback. So I think we could still get a 1-to-1 risk reward trade going down if we do head that direction with either of these pairs here. But yeah, where are we at with NASDAQ? This thing's still just chopping around. See how I drew this box here and look at what it's doing. So just going up and down in the same area. I think I'm just going to wrap this up just